Hey there everybody, Fen here, continuing off from the big old suicide note where there's nobody in the room, no blood, and no evidence to leave a trace of any sort of trace board, pen, paper. So, let's go and continue to get scared. I actually have gotten, a couple of people saying I should play other things like, for example, maybe perhaps possibly Amnesia. Not too bad an idea that I could consider. However, I'm not going to be playing anything other than Thief until I can build my new computer, because this one is creaking and I don't think it's going to handle, something new, even if it was in good condition, let alone in the precarious condition it's in now. So, I'm waiting for Ivy Bridge, the new Intel chips, to build a computer. I'm thinking maybe a high-end Ivy Bridge in a month or two, and then I'll be able to play lots more stuff. So, done with the tech talk, just so you guys know that. I've got the stuff in mind, but not on this laptop, so a month or two, and stuff will be stuff. Now, there's some stairs I remember on, another one of these sides here. I kind of went up into a room, and there was a woman who cleared her throat, and I can't quite remember where that is, but I'm going to see if I can't find it, just saying. Think it was up here, just sort of on, I don't know, this side or that side, or the opposite side is what I'm saying here. Well, maybe she whistled, or he, I don't know. Oh, okay, well, there's a random woman standing there. See, I thought that maybe I'd missed a little ghostly event where she, turns into a ghost and does some crazy shit. But crazy shit doesn't seem to be on the menu, boys. Is that music from the phonograph there, or is it just sort of playing? I guess it's from the phonograph, but it's hard to tell because that music is very high quality after being played after a little kind of thing, just sort of saying. It's funny how nobody else in this house seems to notice all these ghostly events. They just kind of go like, oh, well, and no coins on the table for me. And there will be no taking advantage of gamblers today. What? Somebody screamed. Anyways, yeah, they're just sort of like, oh my god, the whole kitchen's exploding, and they're like, must have been nothing later on. Just calm right down and, really? Now, hang on now. There must be something here. A secret switch. Did I see something over there? No. Well, there must be a reason to come up here. I mean, there's not even a single piece of loot in any of these rooms. I mean, there's a woman standing over there. If you're interested in women. Why would I be interested in women? I just find this room a bit suspicious is all. It's all brightly lit up like a chandelier here, and there doesn't seem to be anything to justify its massive amounts of brightness, I guess. Sparkle. Well, I have no idea. Maybe it's just nothing. I guess I'll just go back and hang my head in shame for even coming up here. However, there is another place that I can remember here, and it's not out here, but I'm going out here anyways, because, there's a guy who's like, stop! That's what he says. No, there are some places that I will demonstrate in a moment here. Bam! There's these appearing to be elevator-type things. That guy's got good vision. How dare he apply for guardhood? Except I don't seem to see any switch for this elevator any place. Why is there? Unless this is. Uh-oh. I thought that was the floor. Okay, that light switch is actually an elevator switch. That's moderately intriguing, I suppose. Seems like this would just take me back to the same sort of second floor area, but I guess obviously not, because I haven't seen it. Whoa. It's very clever putting those voices always in one of your ears. That way you're always spinning around trying to find it because you think it's behind you. Anyways, I suppose those events are kind of arbitrary, and I think they could be slightly more startling than they are, but, you know, that's okay. It makes me be able to brag about not being affected by anything. Just like, yeah, I'm just yawning for effect here, not really particularly reacting. Yeah, ghosts don't scare me. Yeah! And then I get scared by one and say, yeah! And stuff. Well, I think this might be the floor we're in. I don't have a map. There's the other elevator. Yeah, I don't really know where I'm going, but it doesn't look like anything too... Jesus Christ, somebody made this subliminal suggestion, by which I mean not subliminal suggestion, in the comments to watch for paintings in their eyes to do weird things, because that's a horror cliche, and here I thought that that guy's eyes did something in that painting, but alas, that wasn't the case. I don't know why I should be saying alas. I should be saying phew and what a relief. And stuff. Also, looks like there is an openable gate out here somewhere. I can't see it from that side, but there's a guy guarding it and stuff, so it's what it is. Oh. So there's somebody step walking over at some point. That's just simply unacceptable. If I wasn't playing on Super Pro mode, I would knock you right out like a lame ass. You might even say lamer, you know, instead of gamer, because... Well, I don't know what the hell...
What was that noise?
That noise was only the sound of 10 billion ghostly appearances that you didn't even notice, and then me sneaking and you did. Well, it's a horn. Perhaps I can make some noise with this horn. No, I can't. Another sort of somber piece of music that might be the same piece of music. Oi. Hang on a second, hang on a second, hang on a second here. Can I get in front? Doesn't seem like a likely proposition, yes.
Guards!
No, this telescope is just for show, you know, as I sort of suspected, but I feel like this mission is not containing enough of me jumping at the moment. You know, it's that's just kind of what I feel like here. I'm just, yeah. Hey, this guy doesn't have a key on him, and you know, something's tugging at my memory. Like maybe there is this other room in some place that I haven't been yet. I'm almost thinking I'm remembering something like that, but I'm not quite sure. Is the thing?
Hello?
Yeah.
Looks like it's nothing.
Let me have a look around a bit. Well, there's the kitchen with that one piece of loot, but that's just one piece of loot. Let me look at my objectives here. Search for Sarah and find out what happened. It's more or less my only real active objective here. I mean, that's the front door, I'm certain.
Is someone there?
Because you've got the Great Hall and then the entrance there. Yeah. Right, I just checked. That guy standing stationarily out in that room there, who always alerts to me, he's wearing a key on his waist, but it's just yet another main entrance and gate key. Just so we're all clear on that point.
Hello?
Hey, here we are. Just another brick in the wall.
Strange.
How the hell are you even supposed to get this? Even if you did want to blackjack him, his route is way too short, and you don't have an invis. Alright, so, you know, I did find a minor, unimportant thing here. It's kind of some loot behind a chair or something. You can see it there. You grab it. It's amazing. Too bad this idiot is just walking around out here not letting me, you know, do anything like an overprotective parent. Seriously, what a dick. That's not gonna work.
Stop right there! Call this a fight?
Call that a route? Uh-oh.
Thought I saw something.
Fine. Oh, one coin on the table. Amazing. Inching closer to my loot goal? Ahoy. So here I am, up in the middle room on the floor with that patrolling guy around, and all of a sudden I'm in a corner and just find this key here, on a table, in a place that is really no clue is given at all where to look. I am quite ecstatic and happy with this thing. I was about to try a really far-fetched idea, including placing a dress somewhere where it still wouldn't work, but, well, don't have to do that now, do I? Do I, guy? Hey, stop mumbling and start talking to me. I demand it. God here, people. I am God, and you will listen to me, or else I'll strike you down with some technological lightning and call it magic, because I'm obviously a believer in Arthur Clarke's first, second, third, fourth, or fifth law of something or other. Okay. Funny that the key was just kind of right in the same place as it gets used. Uh-oh. Jeez. And there's another copy, so I don't know who this guy is, but he looks evil. Looks like one of those evil accountants who always counts his money and go like, bow down before the one you serve. You're going to get what you deserve. Oh, yes. Says that to himself while still counting his money, because people are strange that way. They can know something and yet act in an opposite way at the same time. It's one of the great advantages of being human, and when I say advantage, I mean curiosity, I guess.
12th February. I can't remember doing anything but marching, fighting, eating, and sleeping for more than a year. 10th July. All commanders received their orders to prepare their men for the final onslaught on Blackbrook. The Baron, however, wants me to pick 50 of my best men and cut off an enemy at the supply route, which was discovered by our scouts this morning. The supply route runs through an abandoned underground mine, and our scouts reported fresh footprints which indicate recent movement of enemy troops. 13th July. We've been marching through the darkness for almost 2 days and have found no signs of enemy troops apart from footprints. Some men reported hearing voices in the dark, but no matter how many patrols were sent out, nothing has ever been found. 14th. I wonder how much deeper this mine goes into the earth. We are constantly marching down and the mine shafts seem to continue endlessly. If we don't find anybody within the next 12 hours, I will order my men to return to the surface, as we are slowly running out of food. 6 hours later. We reached another crossroads which split up into 5 different tunnels. I ordered my men to halt and take a rest, as the cave was big enough to shelter 50 men, and the airflow allowed us to light several campfires without the danger of choking. Feeling the need to relieve myself, I headed towards the entrance of one of the tunnels when the soil beneath my feet collapsed, and I slid down into another tunnel. After the dust settled and my eyes got used to the darkness, I noticed that I was in a tunnel which was different than the ones we've been marching through for the last several hours. The walls were made of solid bricks, and many of them had strange symbols carved into them. A few seconds later I realized that the tunnel was illuminated by a weak purple light, which seemed to originate from small crystal chunks scattered across the place. I followed the tunnel for about 10 meters, only to discover that it was sealed off by a wall of solid stones, which seemed to be placed by men, as they were joined with mortar. I turned around and followed the tunnel in the other direction, passing the place where the ceiling had collapsed. After a few minutes of carefully advancing through the tunnel, it finally ended in a big chamber. A large stone sat in the middle of the room, and something seemed to be attached to it, but it was too far away and too dark to make out any details. As I got closer, I realized that a human skeleton was bound to the stone by strong chains. At this moment my eyes fell upon a large crystal chunk protruding from the forehead of this unfortunate soul, which seemed to emit a purple glowing light. Suddenly the whole crystal was flooded by pulsing streams of energy, which illuminated the entire chamber. The light was accompanied by a piercing sound which continuously seemed to grow louder. I covered my ears with my hands as the volume increased beyond the loudest noise I could imagine. I was screaming in pain and rolling around on the floor until I lost consciousness. 8 hours later. How do you know it's 8 hours later if you lost consciousness? I don't know. The pain was gone when I woke again. I was lying next to a campfire, and all of my men were assembled around me. My first lieutenant told me about the screams, and that some men climbed down through the hole in the floor where they found me lying in the tunnel. Once I recovered myself, I gave orders to return to the surface immediately. My men seemed to be very relieved, as they couldn't wait to get out of the dark. When everything was packed and we started to climb up again, I noticed that I was carrying something in my left hand. I opened my hand and had to suppress a loud scream when I noticed that I'd been carrying the strange crystal with me the whole time. I couldn't remember how it got in my hands, though, as I can't remember touching it at all. Early morning on the 15th. We were still making our way up to the surface, and I seemed to have been asleep the whole time. I can't remember anything, and I felt like I was not controlling my own movements, but was instead being controlled by the crystal. 1 hour later. Where was I? I was standing in a tunnel, and none of my men were there. Again, I can't remember what happened during the last hour. While listening for any sounds of my men, I felt a warm stream running down my forehead. It was blood. My blood. I looked down and noticed that my hands were all covered with blood. There was even more blood on the floor, but too much to be mine alone. I held the lantern closer to the floor and noticed a trail of blood marking every step of mine. The trail seemed to continue endlessly into the dark. I followed the trail back the way I'd come, and after crossing the corner of another tunnel, I found the first corpses. Realizing that those once were my men, I drew my sword, ready to kill whoever did this to them. I'd knelt down in front of my former lieutenant when I saw my reflection in the sword. Something was stuck in my forehead. I knew I was going to reference Diablo here. That's weird. I reached carefully for my forehead with my right hand, and I was horrified when I felt the crystal there. This was the moment I realized that it must have been me who had slaughtered all those men. Why and how, I will never know, and I only wanted to get out of the mine. 16th July. I had another of those strange blackouts, and once I regained my consciousness, I was standing in bright sunlight, shielding my eyes with my left hand. It took me a while to realize that I'd made it back to the surface, but at what price? I felt nothing but a cold darkness creeping up my spine. I decided that it would be best to return to the city unseen to avoid questions about the fate of the men. It is better if everyone believes that I disappeared with them. 29th July. I can see the outskirts of the city. This will be my last night in the wilderness. I think I will hide at my brother's manor. 5th of August. The blackouts became more frequent. I end up in places of the city I didn't know before, and each time the crystal sticks in my forehead, although I had locked it up in a chest. 3 days ago I tossed the crystal into the fast-flowing river, but that same night I woke up, and it was lying on my desk again. My brother organized a festival for me to celebrate my return, but I doubt that it is a good idea. He and his wife are concerned about my mood. Everyone here seems to feel that there is something wrong with me, but I can't talk to anyone about what has happened. It is best for them and me if they are under the impression that I'm traumatized from the last 3 years of war. 6th of August. I decided to attend the party after all. Maybe they're right and it will help. Here the diary ends abruptly, and it seems the page is stained with something red. Probably blood. Wow. It's gonna have to be it for today. See you guys later. Intro, outros, I mean getting shorter and shorter.